We all are extremely grateful and extend our deepest regard to the Honorable Union Cabinet Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports and Labour and Employment, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia ji, a true champion of youth. He exemplifies dedication and vision, and his relentless efforts continue to bring about meaningful and transformative change in the lives of millions of youths. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We are extremely indebted. Srimati Raksha Khatse ji, Union Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports, known for her exceptional work in policy making and a forward-looking vision. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. We are extremely grateful. We also have with us Shri Anand Mahindra ji, Chairman of Mahindra Group, the national icon for today's event. His strategic foresight and dynamic leadership have not only taken the Mahindra Group to diverse sectors, but has also elevated Bharat's manufacturing sector to a global scale. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. We are extremely indebted for you for illuminating this occasion with your presence. Srimati Palki Sharma Upadhyay ji. Well, who doesn't know her? A trailblazer in journalism, known for her commitment to integrity, reflects the ethos of informed leadership. By bringing global events into focus through an Indian lens, her approach continues to shape the future of journalism with a distinct and impactful voice. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. We are extremely grateful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an exceptionally vibrant morning to each and everyone sitting in this room. Just like the youth, this morning feels alive with possibilities and enthusiasm. I, Malika Singh Pathania, along with Aditya Raj and Sarika Rana, are my Bharat volunteers who will be hosting today's event. It is a matter of extreme privilege for me that I have the opportunity to commence the day 2 of the celebration of youth, the celebration of Viksit Bharat at the rate 2047. The reimagined National Youth Festival, Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025. And this deserves a huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not just a physical assembly of Yuva Shakti, but as rightly stated by our Honorable Prime Minister, it's Yuva Vicharon ka Mahakumbh. From the historic ramparts of Red Fort, it was on August 15, 2024, that our Honorable Prime Minister announced his vision to engage more than 1 lakh youth from families with no prior political background into the political system, because of which various events have been organized, and this mega event is a part of that. The talented group of young pride of people that we see here today have been selected through rigorous competition in 3 categories, namely the newly introduced Viksit Bharat Challenge, state-level youth festivals, and the Young Trailblazers. 30 lakh participants, 12 different languages, and 4 different stages have brought together the best of the best. 3,000 of remarkable Yuva Shakti that has gathered here today. The future of Bharat, the leaders of today, and the leaders of tomorrow. The 2025 National Youth Festival has been reimagined on every possible level, because of which you will soon notice that most of the work here is being done by the youth, because this is an historic event with a commitment that knows no bounds. This is an event that is of the youth, for the youth, and by the youth of Bharat. Thank you so much, everyone.
और दोस्तों, ये तो सिर्फ एक शुरुआत है, प्रारंभ है। आरंभ है गति की, आरंभ है नीति की, अंतिम पंक्ति की, आरंभ है प्रकृति की, आरंभ है यह ज्योत की, विरासतों के प्रीत की, कर्म के धर्म की, शामिल हर वर्ण की, आरंभ है ये देश की नए युग में प्रवेश की। नए भारत का नया युवा जो अपने संकल्प से विकसित भारत एट 2047 के लिए कार्य कर रहा है। मैं अनुरोध करूंगा हमारे ऐसे ही माई भारत वॉलंटियर से कि वो हमारे माननीय युवा कार्यक्रम एवं खेल मंत्री डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडवीय जी का स्वागत पुष्प देकर करें, जिनकी मेजबानी में यह भव्य और दिव्य कार्यक्रम आयोजित हो पा रहा है। आपकी तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट भारत मंडपम से संपूर्ण भारत वर्ष को सुनाई देनी चाहिए। हमारे अगले माई भारत वॉलंटियर से हमारा विनम्र अनुरोध होगा कि हमारी माननीय युवा कार्यक्रम एवं खेल राज्य मंत्री रक्षा खड़से मैडम का स्वागत पुष्प देकर करें। आपकी तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट इस कार्यक्रम की भव्यता का प्रमाण है। और अब मैं अपने माई भारत वॉलंटियर से अनुरोध करूंगा कि उस व्यक्ति का स्वागत करें जिस व्यक्ति के लिए शायद शब्दों का कोई भी मायाजाल कम पड़ जाए। श्री आनंद महिंद्रा सर। हमारे अगले माई भारत वॉलंटियर से हमारा अनुरोध होगा कि पालकी शर्मा मैम का जोरदार स्वागत करें। मेरा अनुरोध होगा हमारे अगले माई भारत वॉलंटियर से कि हमारे इस कार्यक्रम के सबसे बड़े चेहरों में से एक, जिस व्यक्ति ने भारत को चंद्रयान से लेकर गगनयान तक, आदित्य L1 से लेके मंगलयान तक पहुंचाया, इसरो चेयरमैन सर एस सोमनाथ। हमारा अगले माई भारत वॉलंटियर से भी अनुरोध होगा कि हमारे चेयरमैन स्पेस पवन के गोयनका सर का सम्मान और स्वागत करें। कार्यक्रम के अगले भाग की ओर बढ़ते हुए हम अपने सभी सम्मानित अतिथियों से विनम्र अनुरोध करेंगे कि आप मंच पे आएं और हम सबके युवा शक्ति के प्रेरणा स्रोत स्वामी विवेकानंद जी के चरणों में पुष्प अर्पित करने के कार्यक्रम को प्रारंभ करें। आपकी तालियां भारतवर्ष को सुनाई देती रहनी चाहिए। वह भारत जिसका शब्दार्थ ही रहा अंधकार से प्रकाश की ओर यात्रा। एतत् देशे प्रसूतस्य सकाशाद अग्रजन्मनः स्वम स्वम चरित्रं शिक्षरेण पृथिव्याम सर्वमानव। वेदों में लिखी ये पंक्ति हमें बताती है कि कैसे भारत की परंपरा में चरित्र से चरितार्थ हुआ जाता है। स्वामी विवेकानंद एक ऐसा ही चरित्र जिसके लिए कवि सुमित ओरछा लिखते हैं कि हम जीत गए थे धर्मसभा, हम जीत गए थे धर्मसभा, पर नहीं किसी की हार हुई। उस दिन तो सारी दुनिया में भारत की जय जयकार हुई। भारत की यशो पताका के नवगीत बने, नव छंद बने, वह युवा संत सन्यासी ही दुनिया के विवेकानंद बने। वे अंधकार से लड़ने को युवकों के मन का द्वंद बने, वे युवा संत सन्यासी ही दुनिया के विवेकानंद बने। स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने कभी कहा था कि मैं देख सकता हूं कि भारत माता अपनी दिव्य आभा के साथ संपूर्ण विश्व का मार्गदर्शन करने के लिए पुनः सिंहासनारूढ़ होने जा रही है, और वो समय मात्र 1 शताब्दी दूर है। 1901 में कही गई इस बात से हम एक शताब्दी बाद खड़े हैं, ये इस बात का प्रतीक है कि महापुरुषों के कथन कभी निरर्थक नहीं जाते। आपकी तालियां इस बात का प्रतीक रहेंगी कि आप कार्यक्रम में मौजूद हैं या नहीं। भारत जिसकी परंपरा में चरितार्थ होना हम सबको सिखाया गया, हम उस भारत के युवा हैं जो आज अपने कर्तव्यों से परफॉर्म करना चाहते हैं, भारत के वर्तमान को रिफॉर्म करना चाहते हैं और भारत के भविष्य को विकसित भारत के रूप में ट्रांसफॉर्म करना चाहते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय मंत्री महोदय से, हमारे अतिथियों से। और अब मैं आवाज दूंगा अपनी को एंकर सारिका राणा को कि वो इस कार्यक्रम को अगले भाग की ओर ले चलें। धन्यवाद।
Good morning, everybody. Can I see the energy of my Bharat? Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, we stand on the cusp of a vision for a Viksit Bharat by 2047, which was seen by our Honorable Prime Minister. A developed Bharat, driven by the dreams, energy, and determination of its youth. They say that the strength of a nation lies in the hearts of its young people. And today, this event is a shining example. It's a shining example, an event that is by the youth, of the youth, and for the youth. They say behind every great movement is a visionary leader, and we are honored to have one such trailblazer among us, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia ji, everybody, our Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports and Labor and Employment, is not just a leader, but a force of transformation. From walking hundreds of kilometers in Padyatras to promote Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and girl child education, to leading initiatives that brought healthcare closer to every Indian through 10,000 plus Jan Aushadhi Kendras. His efforts resonate with every corner of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, these achievements are such extraordinary. Your claps must not stop, please. His leadership took India's vaccination drive to a historic heights, administrating 2 billion doses in record time. An inspiring voice on global platforms like the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. He has represented India with unparalleled dignity and vision. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's make the energy in this room match the greatness of the man we are about to welcome. Please join me in welcoming our Honorable Minister, sir. Give him a thunderous round of applause, everybody. Please, sir, the stage is yours.
विकसित भारत यंग लीडर डायलॉग के इनॉग्रेशन के अवसर पर हमारे बीच में उपस्थित आनंद महिंद्रा जी, पालकी जी, सोमनाथन जी, रक्षा जी, पवन जी, देश के कोने कोने से आए हुए मेरे यंग लीडर भाइयों बहनों, आज मुझे खुशी है और प्रतिवर्ष 12 जनवरी को स्वामी विवेकानंद जी की स्मृति में हम यूथ फेस्टिवल मनाते हैं, युवा दिन मनाते हैं। और ये यूथ फेस्टिवल में हम देश के सभी युवा इकट्ठे होते हैं, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी से प्रेरणा लेते हैं और संकल्प भी करते हैं अपने स्वयं के विकास के लिए और देश के विकास के लिए। लेकिन स्वामी विवेकानंद जी कहते थे, जितना बड़ा संघर्ष होगा जीत उतनी ही शानदार होगी। संघर्ष हमें प्रेरणा देता है, संघर्ष हमें बड़ी जीत के लिए तैयार करता है, यानी कि सफलता का रास्ता तय करते हैं। और इसलिए आज से 100-125 साल पहले स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने जो कहा था, उससे प्रेरणा लेके हमें आगे बढ़ने की दिशा भी मिलती है। लेकिन आज मुझे खुशी है, एक स्वामी विवेकानंद दीक्षा के पहले उसका नाम था नरेंद्र दत्त। आज हम स्वामी विवेकानंद जी से प्रेरणा लेके जब देश के युवा यूथ डे को मनाने के लिए यहां उपस्थित हुए हैं और मोदी जी ने हमें प्रेरणा दी कि हमें इस बार यूथ डे, यूथ फेस्टिवल अलग तरीके से मनाना होगा। एक नरेंद्र दत्त जिन्होंने युवाओं को दिशा दी थी, आज ऐसे ही हमारे नरेंद्र मोदी युवाओं को प्रेरणा दे रहे हैं। और जब मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी के पास गया और मैंने कहा कि इस साल मुझे यूथ फेस्टिवल कौन से स्टेट में मनाना है और आपको उसमें आना होगा, तब मोदी जी ने मुझे कहा कि यूथ फेस्टिवल आप हर बार तो कोई स्टेट में मनाते हैं, लेकिन मैं मेरे देश के युवा साथियों को देश के विकास के साथ जोड़ना चाहता हूं और विकसित भारत के साथ जोड़ना चाहता हूं। इसलिए इस बार यूथ फेस्टिवल हम कुछ अलग तरीके से मना सकते हैं क्या? मोदी जी की ये बात से प्रेरणा लेके मैंने सोचा कि हम इस कार्यक्रम में युवाओं की भागीदारी को सुनिश्चित करके इस फेस्टिवल को मनाए। मुझे आज आनंद जी बताते हुए खुशी हो रही है कि सारा कार्यक्रम मोदी जी के 1 लाख यूथ लीडर तैयार करने की दिशा में एक पहलू है, एक पहला कदम है। इस कार्यक्रम में सारी व्यवस्था, सारा प्लानिंग, सारा आयोजन मेरे देश के युवा वॉलंटियर ने करा है। मेरे साथी मिनिस्टर रक्षा जी, हमारी सेक्रेटरी मीता जी और मिनिस्ट्री की टीम, हम तो केवल प्रेरक रहे हैं, मार्गदर्शक रहे हैं, लेकिन देश के 25 युवा वॉलंटियर मिले। यही वॉलंटियर ने तय करा, उन्होंने जो कहा वो हमने करा। उन्होंने कहा कि आप देश के टैलेंटेड युवाओं को इकट्ठा करना चाहते हैं, तो हमने कहा हाँ। तो उन्होंने कहा कि कंपटीशन करनी होगी और उसमें से क्विज कंपटीशन का आयोजन हुआ। क्विज कंपटीशन में 30 लाख से अधिक युवाओं ने पार्टिसिपेशन करा। उसमें से मेरिट में आए हुए 2 लाख युवा, जिन्होंने 10 ट्रैक पर लेटर ऐसे लिखने के लिए कहा गया, और ये 2 लाख युवाओं ने में से 60,000 युवाओं ने ऐसे लिखा और ये ऐसे को इवेल्युएट करा गया। उसमें से 9,000 देश के युवाओं को कहा कि आप विकसित भारत के लिए आप जिस वर्टिकल में ऐसे लिखा है, ये विषय के लिए आप प्रेजेंटेशन दीजिए। उन्होंने प्रेजेंटेशन दिया और उनमें से निकले हुए आज 3000 युवा मेरे सामने बैठा है। आप देश की टैलेंट है, आप देश का भविष्य है। आज का कार्यक्रम आई दी यूथ है, बाय दी यूथ है, फॉर दी यूथ है। ये कार्यक्रम आप लोगों ने तैयार करा है और इसलिए सारा कार्यक्रम की रचना और प्लानिंग आपके विचार से हुआ है। और इसलिए भारत को विकसित बनाने के लिए, डेवलप्ड कंट्री बनाने के लिए आपकी क्या राय है, आप क्या चाहते हैं, आपका विजन का भारत कैसा होगा। कल मैं आया, 10 ट्रैक का प्रेजेंटेशन चल रहा था। युवा विकसित भारत के लिए, एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में विकसित भारत में क्या होना चाहिए, स्टार्टअप में विकसित भारत के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए और आज क्या है, वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के लिए विकसित भारत में हमारे देश की महिलाओं की क्या स्थिति होनी चाहिए। दोस्तों, जब युवाओं को मैं सुना, मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड हुआ। मुझे पक्का विश्वास है कि आप मोदी जी के सपनों का विकसित भारत 2047 में बना के रहेंगे। मैं तो दोस्तों मानता हूं कि ये पहला कार्यक्रम है जो देश की युवा शक्ति को नेतृत्व सौंपने की पहल हो चुकी है। आप में से ही, आपके प्लानिंग से ही मैं देख रहा था सारी व्यवस्था को, लेटर लिखना, कॉल करना, आप सब लोगों का लॉजिस्टिक अरेंजमेंट करना, होटल अरेंजमेंट करना, सारी व्यवस्था यहां संचालन कर रहे हैं वो भी यूथ वॉलंटियर है, आप में से ही है। व्यवस्था में लगे हुए लोग आप में से ही है और अनुशासित तरीके से आपको मैं 2 दिन से देख रहा हूं और उससे देश के सभी व्यवस्था का हौसला बढ़ा है। मैंने ये भी देखा, जब राज्य से आप निकले तो मैंने सभी राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री और गवर्नर जी को कहा था कि आपके स्टेट के यूथ, टैलेंट यूथ, जो कंपटीशन से निकले हुए यूथ प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ डायलॉग करने के लिए आ रहे हैं, विकसित भारत के लिए अपना सुझाव देने के लिए आ रहे हैं। आप उसको मिलिए। मुझे खुशी है 24 स्टेट के गवर्नर और मुख्यमंत्री जी ने आपको बुला के सी ऑफ किया है, आपका सम्मान करा है दोस्तों। और मुझे ये भी बताया गया, आप सब लोग जिस स्टेट से आए हैं, तो भारत सरकार के सभी मंत्रियों ने आपको खाने भोजन के लिए कई लोगों को 9 तारीख शाम को बुलाया था। 20 मंत्री लोगों ने कल अपने अपने स्टेट के टैलेंट यूथ को अपने यहां भोजन के साथ बुला के उसके साथ संवाद करा है। उससे पता चलता है कि इस कार्यक्रम का महत्व क्या है। दोस्तों, मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में देश बदल रहा है, देश आगे बढ़ रहा है और नया भारत का निर्माण हो रहा है। दोस्तों, सदियों के बाद हम फिर से भारत माता को परम वैभव के स्थान पर विराजमान करने जा रहे हैं। ये देश ने बहुत सहा है। ये देश 2000 साल तक परतंत्र रहा है। कभी इस देश पर हुणों ने शासन करा, कभी इस देश पर शकों ने शासन करा। 1000 साल तक इस देश पर आक्रांताओं ने शासन करा। 240 साल तक इस देश पर अंग्रेजों ने शासन करा। 1857 में मंगल पांडे ने अपनी पहली शहीदी देके अंग्रेजों के सामने आजादी की लड़ाई का प्रारंभ करा था। 90 साल तक देश की आजादी की लड़ाई चली। 6 लाख युवाओं ने अपना प्राण का बलिदान दिया। जब देश बलिदान मांग रहा था, तब देश के युवा आगे बढ़ के फांसी के फंदे पर चढ़ जाते थे और वंदे मातरम बोल के भारत माता के लिए अपना प्राण को आहूत करते थे। और दोस्तों, देश की आजादी के 75 साल के बाद मोदी जी ने हमें आह्वान करा है कि हमें विकसित भारत बनाना है। और विकसित भारत बनाने के लिए मुझे देश के युवाओं पर विश्वास है। देश के युवाओं को साथ में लेके उसका विजन का, युवाओं का विजन का विकसित भारत बनाना है और इसलिए युवा और महिलाओं की भागीदारी विकसित भारत में सुनिश्चित करने के लिए विकसित भारत यंग डायलॉग की हमें प्रेरणा दी। और यहां बैठे हुए सब युवाओं के सामने मैं देख रहा हूं, 2 दिन से आपकी एक्टिविटी का दर्शन कर रहा हूं। दोस्तों, मेरा हौसला और कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड हो रहा है। फिर से भारत माता परम वैभव के स्थान पर विराजमान होगी। 2047 जब देश आजादी का शताब्दी वर्ष मनाता हो, तब दोस्तों आप विकसित भारत के नागरिक के रूप में विकसित भारत को जिएंगे और भविष्य में हम विकसित भारत को जी सके, इसलिए विकसित भारत की लीडरशिप मेरे सामने बैठी है। आप सबको मेरा आग्रह है, 2 दिन तक आज और कल जी जान से, मेहनत से, खंत से सारे कार्यक्रम में पार्टिसिपेंट करिए, रुचि से कार्यक्रम में भागीदार होइए। आपका कंट्रीब्यूट करिए, आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन होने की आवश्यकता है। और जब कल आप प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ संवाद करेंगे, तब यहां मुझे बताया गया 10 ट्रैक के हमारे 20 युवा साथी प्रधानमंत्री जी को कहेंगे कि प्रधानमंत्री जी, हमारे सपनों का ये विकसित भारत है और ये आपका सपनों का विकसित भारत बनाने के लिए आपकी कमिटमेंट और डेडिकेशन के आधार पर हम सब लोग आगे बढ़े। आप सबको मेरी ओर से हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you once again, sir, for being with us and leading us towards a brighter future. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the moment we all have been waiting for, the most anticipated interaction with our national icon. But before we dive in, it is my privilege and honor to introduce you to the one who will lead this extraordinary conversation. Palki Sharma Upadhyay, ma'am. The moderator for this interaction, and I must proudly say my idol. A fearless voice who has made India's story resonate across the globe. A storyteller whose every word has the power to challenge perspectives and spark meaningful dialogue. She is more than just a journalist. She is a change maker who has set new benchmarks in global media. With her unmatched clarity and compelling storytelling, she has not only brought the world closer to India, but has also empowered countless minds like us to dream big and speak out fearlessly. It is an honor to welcome you, ma'am, to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for the one and only Palki Sharma Upadhyay, ma'am. We welcome you, ma'am. Please, ma'am, take your seat. Thank you. Friends, now, there are leaders who build businesses, and then there are leaders, visionaries who build legacies. The man we are about to welcome on stage belongs to the later category, Shri Anand Mahindra ji. The dynamic chairman of the Mahindra Group has redefined what it means to be a leader in modern India. Under his leadership, the Mahindra Group has soared to global heights, driving innovation across automobiles, IT, aerospace, and beyond. With degrees from Harvard College and Harvard Business School, he is a powerhouse of intellect and foresight, blending business excellence with a profound sense of purpose. But his impact is not confined to boardrooms or balance sheets. He is a true nation builder, empowering over 330,000 underprivileged girls through the Nani Kali initiative, promoting youth skilling and sustainable farming with the Nandi Foundation, and bringing a modern twist to traditional Indian sports through the Pro Kabaddi League. I have to gasp because the list goes on and on. He has given chess a global stage with the creation of the world's first franchise-based global chess league. And when it comes to celebrating art and culture, Sir has left no stone unturned. From Mahindra Blues to Mahindra Theatre Awards, his contributions reflect his deep commitment to preserving creativity and history. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a roaring round of applause and a warm welcome to a true national icon, the man who inspires us to dream bigger and do better, Shri Anand Mahindra Ji. Please, sir, take your seat. And now I would request you to please start the interaction.
Thank you very much for the kind words and for the very, very warm welcome, Honorable Minister Mansukh Mandavia ji, Raksha ji, all the dignitaries and the young leaders. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be part of the Young Leaders Dialogue being organized by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. I think that Viksit Bharat 2047 is the most transformative and ambitious goal that we've set ourselves as a nation to turn India into a developed country by 2047, which is the centenary year of our independence. And it is not just a policy, it is not just a distant dream, it is a shared mission that requires the active participation of every Indian citizen, especially the youth. We have 600 million young people in this country. Their energy, their determination is what is going to drive our global rise. And to guide us through this transformation, we have visionaries like Mr. Mahindra. Mr. Anand Mahindra is with us. He is a visionary business leader, a philanthropist, and we've just heard the long list of things you've done. Mr. Mahindra, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Palki, and good morning to you all. You know, this is the first time I've been in this hall. I'm amazed. It's just so incredibly huge, and the acoustics are perfect. And from what I understand today, the future of India is sitting here. इतने होनहार लोग युवा बैठे हैं यहाँ, ये देश का भविष्य है. Can I just test the acoustics of this hall and see how loud a noise you can all make with one single cheer? Okay, I think we just fused some mics here. Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank the minister for inviting me. When he called me, he said it's a Yuva Shakti program. So I said, I'm 69. Why are you turning this into a dinosaur park by calling me here? But you know, some people, when you talk to them, you know they don't take no for an answer. So I very quickly gave up and realized I had to be here, but I'm honored to be here. It's an absolute pleasure. And thank you very much for that introduction. Usually after that kind of introduction, everything has to be an anticlimax. I should just walk off the stage right now and, you know, and quit while you're ahead, as they say. But anyway, I'm delighted to be here, and Palki, back to you.
We're talking about young leaders. How do you envision the role of youth in nation building in the journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047? And when you talk about young leaders, what are the qualities that they should nurture to be able to achieve this feat?
There's never any perfect answer to these kinds of questions, Palki, but what was useful to me was just about a month ago, we had our annual leadership conclave, the top 100 odd leaders of the Mahindra Group in Rishikesh. And while I was talking to them, I actually described what I felt were the reasons that we had succeeded in our group and the characteristics that they had. And I'm going to just use that because I think it applies to the question you asked me. And we often talk about AI these days. To me, I used A&I, but the A I used was audacity. The first quality you have to have is audacity. If you look at the independence of India, the minister mentioned the Shaheed Bhagat Singh. What was he if not audacious? Thinking about a goal which seemed impossible, to take on odds which seem insurmountable. That's audacity. And India has suffered for so long a colonially shackled mindset. The real poison of colonialism is not economic, it's psychological, because it robs any colonized population of self-belief, of thinking that they can succeed and rule themselves. So it takes audacity now for us to think bigger than ever. So the first quality that you need is audacity, and I dare say all of you are here, coming down from 3 million people originally who were asked to do this essay. You've all come down here and managed to be shortlisted because of your audacity. The second one, Palki, is very important, the I, and you might find it counterintuitive, it's integrity. Now you might say, why integrity? Moving from audacity to integrity. Because if you ask me, the definition of a developed nation cannot be defined only in material terms. I don't care what our GDP is. I don't care what our per capita income is. If we have not gone about it the right way, if we are not seen as a nation of values, that is how we must differentiate ourselves. One of my favorite comments that I always make is that it's not how big you become. It's not how big you become, it's how you become big. And you have to do it the right way. So to me, that's the AI we need, but there is one more I'll add, and that is resilience. Because when you come to audaciousness, when you come to innovation, you won't always succeed the first time. You are going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're going to fail. We've all heard the word serial entrepreneurs. That's because they're not afraid of failure. And that fear of failure is what we must overcome. We got the head of ISRO sitting here. He goes into space almost every day because he's not afraid of failing. And that is the resilience that all of us need here. We need to understand that we will stumble, but we have to be able to get up and rise again. So eventually, those are the 3 qualities, Palki. I would say we need to become a developed nation.
Very well.
His colleagues said that too. There was no event manager for this event, apparently. It was a collective effort. It was amorphous. The leadership was amorphous. It was not something you can identify and say, this person made it happen. Everybody made it happen. So when people say they don't want to be managed, when young people say that, I don't think they just want to be in some kind of anarchic situation. I don't think they just want to do whatever they want, that there aren't goals. I think they're talking about empowerment, that they want to be empowered to be part of the solution. In this country, we don't ever like to be pushed. We like to be led, but led collectively. That's how we got independence. And that's in our nature, that's embedded in us. So I don't see this as a problem. I don't see a leaderless future. A country which has collective leadership like this event, I think will be the most powerful of all.
You've also often emphasized the importance of purpose-driven leadership. How can young leaders balance personal ambition with with the idea of contributing to nation building and doing more for the society?
You know, this to me is it's a notorious false dichotomy that we create, either purpose or profit. The fact is the two go together. You never, if you look at purpose in itself, first of all, we as a group were born in 1945 on the cusp of independence. My grandfather and granduncle were actually working with the government, British government at that time, but they were fired up by the idea of independence and they created this group to help build the nation. And that's our core strength. I think the strongest asset of the Mahindra Group is that we were born out of purpose. I don't think we've lost profit along the way, Polly. And I dare say that we've made more profit, we've been more resilient, we've been more audacious, precisely because of purpose. So the two don't go together. Second thing I would say is, you know, if we tell people you have to either build the nation or make profit, I think that's completely false. Every entrepreneur, I don't care whether you're in a food delivery business, you're in something that seems very, very trivial, you are building the nation. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a mom and pop shop, you are building the economy. You're a vital cog in development. So I don't understand where this distinction between nation building or purpose comes. They all have a purpose. Yes, it might be to make themselves richer, but it also is building the nation. So that's the other reason why you can't. And finally, the final element why I think there is no distinction, in fact, the biggest growth opportunities are actually in nation building, just as in sustainability. That was another false dichotomy. Can I be sustainable or profitable? No, you can do both. And the biggest opportunities in the world will come because India is being built as a nation. It's the fastest growing economy in the world. And therefore, you will have many, many more opportunities for growth. So as you contribute to growth, nation building, this is also the biggest growth opportunities. Where in the world are you going to find that opportunity? So let's do away with this distinction once and for all. Purpose and profit go together. Entrepreneurship and nation building are identical.
How do platforms like Mahindra Rise and other such corporate initiatives, how can they help young innovators bring their ideas to life and scale them for impact?
So again, I'm going to be a little counterintuitive. I'm going to flip that. It's not how can we help. We won't rise unless they help us. This platform. Now, I wish I could tap into all the energy here. And if you look at these, there are probably about, out of these 3,000, there must be thousands of unicorns that are going to happen right here. So, please remember this. Would you, when you ultimately do your startups, please give me a message, allow me to invest in you. That's how I'm going to make money. So we can't rise if they don't rise. They will help us rise, in my opinion. And just in a more practical term, what we are doing is, and I've been doing it personally, is you create platforms which allow grassroots innovation. I started something on social media a couple of years ago called Enterprise Bharat, which I just asked for small ideas, grassroots innovators to come up. And I said I would invest in them personally and shortlist them. I did it. This year I'm pivoting to supporting Professor Anil Gupta of IIM, who created the Honeybee Network. And he did, Minister Saab, he did that Gyan program, Grassroots Innovation Augmentation in Gujarat, Professor Anil Gupta had done. He has started a Honeybee Network Awards for inclusive entrepreneurship, and we are proud to be partnering with him this year.
Fantastic. And since you've encouraged all the young leaders here to start on their own, as many as can, I was going to ask you about advice for young entrepreneurs, but this is also a question that has come from Jigyasa Jain from Madhya Pradesh. She says, युवाओं को स्टार्टअप और बिजनेस फील्ड में आने के लिए क्या गाइडेंस की बहुत आवश्यकता है और इस गाइडेंस के लिए हम युवा मेंटोर या गुरु का चुनाव कैसे करें?
सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि हमारी बहुत पुरानी परंपरा है मेंटरशिप की. चाहे आप उसको गुरु शिष्य परंपरा करें, तो इट्स इन आवर नेचर, ये हमारे व्यक्तित्व में है कि हम मदद करना चाहते हैं, युवाओं को हम सलाह देना चाहते हैं, उनकी मदद करना ही चाहते हैं, इट्स पार्ट ऑफ आवर डीएनए। तो आपको ढूंढना नहीं पड़ेगा, सब लोग आ जाएंगे, दे विल कम विलिंगली टू हेल्प विद यू। बट यू नो टुडे व्हाट वी कैन डू इज वी कैन यूज टेक्नोलॉजी। टुडे टेक्नोलॉजी कैन क्रिएट अ प्लेटफॉर्म, और हम जिक्र करेंगे एक प्लेटफॉर्म ऐसा है जिसका नाम है एस्पायर, द एस्पायर इंस्टीट्यूट। उसकी शुरुआत की थी प्रोफेसर तरुण खन्ना of Indian origin. He's a professor at Harvard Business School, and he's created this platform जहाँ कुछ 2.5 लाख स्टूडेंट्स हैं, फर्स्ट टाइम स्टूडेंट्स इन देयर फैमिलीज, जो पहली बार कॉलेज जा रहे हैं उनके परिवारों में, और उन्होंने एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया है, and he has gone around the world asking mentors to join, and you can sign up and do a 10-week immersion course, और उसके बाद में mentors भी मिल जाएंगे. It's growing. This year he's targeting to get to 1 million people. आई थिंक मिनिस्टर जी ऐसा हमें भी करना चाहिए, शायद इनके साथ भी कुछ ताल्लुक रखना चाहिए, एस्पायर इंस्टीट्यूट, बट वी शुड, आई थिंक विकसित भारत शुड बिकम अ प्लेटफॉर्म. ये एक इवेंट के बाद में इसको बंद नहीं करना चाहिए आपको, दिस मस्ट बिकम अ प्लेटफॉर्म. तो आपने ये बहुत इवेंट, ऑल ऑफ यू डन वेरी वेल, बट इसका कुछ फायदा नहीं होगा अगर कुछ परमानेंस नहीं है इसमें. तो अगर आप इसको प्लेटफॉर्माइज करेंगे, विकसित भारत मस्ट बी अ प्लेटफॉर्म वेयर ऑल यंग पीपल कैन लॉग ऑन, मेंटोर्स मिलेंगे, कोर्सेज मिलेंगे, नेटवर्क सपोर्ट, वी शुड ऑल साइन ऑन. Every Indian, whether it is, I'm pretty sure Satya Nadella will sign on. They will commit time. They must log in and say, I want time with a mentor. Can someone help me? I need finance. I need a network. I need somebody to help me cut bureaucratic red tape. अगर ये सारे जो संसाधन हैं, सारे जो फैसिलिटी सुविधाएं हैं, अगर एक प्लेटफॉर्म में मिल जाए तो ये तो क्रांति होगी, और आपने किया होगा.
I think that's fantastic advice. I think there is a need for this conversation because corporate leaders have created wealth and created millions of jobs in India. The young have their own understanding of how they want to lead their lives, and that is leading to a lot of debate as well. You may be aware about work-life balance, and there are prescriptions on 70-hour work weeks, 90-hour work weeks. How do you address something like that? What is your idea of this balance, and how much is too much?
I said ऐसे audience में this सवाल ये तो आना ही है आज, कोई ना कोई मुझे पूछेगा इस सवाल. So I'll tell you, I have I have huge respect for Mr. Narayan Murthy and others. So let me not get this wrong.
Of course.
But I have to say something. I think this debate is in the wrong direction. Because this debate is about the quantity of work. My point is, we have to focus on the quality of work, not on the quantity of work. So it's not about 40 hours, it's not about 70 hours, it's not about 90 hours. What output are you doing even if it's 10 hours? You can change the world in 10 hours. So the ministers just sent me a note saying we have the My Bharat platform, which is a single window platform for all youth activities, and we will integrate with the Aspire platform. Thank you, sir. Now, that's what you call an action-oriented government right there. He didn't even wait 1 minute before responding. My salam to you. So coming back to your question, Palki, I have always believed that you have to have leaders and people in your company who make wise decisions, wise choices. So the question is, which kind of mind makes the right choices and right decisions? And I think a mind that is exposed to holistic thinking, that is open to inputs from around the world, that's why I'm such a votary of liberal arts. I think even if you're an engineer, even if you're an MBA, you must study art, you must study culture. The MC was very kind that we support art and culture. Why? Why am I making shareholders pay for that? Because I think you make better decisions when you have a whole brain, when you are informed about arts, culture, that's when you'll make a good decision. If you're not spending time at home, if you're not spending time with friends, if you're not reading, if you don't have time to reflect, how will you bring the right inputs into making a decision? Let's take our business. You make a car. We have to decide what a customer wants in a car. If we are only in the office all the time, we are not with our families, we are not with other families, how are we going to understand what people want to buy? What kind of car do they want to sit in? So that is why I'm a big votary. I'm not going to say you need to work so many hours or that. Often you have to be in a tunnel just to complete a project or or there's a crisis, but you should not be in a tunnel every time. And Gandhiji said, open your windows, let the air in. So I definitely think there's no such thing as a work-life balance. There is something where it's not about balancing two things. You make good decisions if you have a holistic life, and you cannot be in a tunnel all the time.
Absolutely, and I think there's something to be said for both the arguments. I mean, you don't become a Narayan Murthy with a 9-to-5 work schedule, right? Sometimes you have to push. We grew up learning things like no pain, no gain, and yet I think everybody has their own threshold, and they decide what they... You're very successful. If I could ask you, how many hours a week do you work?
You know, this is what I want to avoid, Palki. I don't want it to be about the time. I don't want it to be about quantity. Ask me what's the quality of my work. Don't ask me how many hours I work.
And since you're giving us tips, you look worried. It's not a trick question. How much time in a day do you spend on social media? Because you've aced your social media game, and yet you have managed time so well because you've built institutions, and I think we can all learn. I mean, this is a challenge that...
You know, I'm often asked this question, then I'm asked about, do you have a office that manages it? If anyone's read my tweets, if you think my office can write like that, then I've got a fabulous team who lives inside my head, you know? I don't know why people even ask that. So then you say, how much time do you have? And every time I'll get in my timeline, sab aap faltu ko nahi kaam karo, aap Twitter pe kyun hai? You know, this kind of thing keeps coming up. I want to tell people and I've been asked this, I'm on X, on social media, not because I'm lonely. My wife is wonderful. I love staring at her. I spend more time. So I'm not here to make friends. I'm here because people don't understand. It is an amazing business tool. How in one platform I get feedback from 11 million people. If I asked any research firm to tell me, can you get me a sample of 11 million, do you know what they charge me? So frankly, I once asked Microsoft or something, create a cockpit for me that tells me, you know, how I can, what's happening in my factory, what's happening here, what's happening there. And they said $1 million. So I said, can't do it. And then Twitter came around, and it was free. So everybody out there has a mobile camera. I'll give you just 2 examples, which, since these are young people. One of them was a person who tweeted to me saying, you know, I want to thank you. My girlfriend and I were at a concert in Nasik, and she got sick and was throwing up right outside the wall of your factory. Pawan, you may know this story. I may have told you this. And she said that at that time, your chowkidar from the factory, the security officer, came out, and he helped us and got her water. And I just wanted to thank you. That's a wonderful gesture instead of trying to chase us away. So I called up the factory manager and I said, find out who this chowkidar is. I want you to felicitate him in front of people. Give him some flowers from me and say, that's the culture I want Mahindra to have. Now you tell me, you talk about HR, what do you think those people were thinking? आनंद महेंद्र जी को कैसे पता चल गया? वो तो बम्बे में नारीमन पॉइंट में बैठे हैं. उसको कैसे पता चल गया ये हो गया? And what was the message I sent about what culture we wanted? How do you find another tool to do that? So it's invaluable to have that kind of platform. That's why I'm on it again. I'm not on it because I need friends.
No, you should be on it. You dispense a lot of advice, and I can clearly see the connect, everything that you've said and what you do, obviously. You talked about AI, audacity and integrity. There's the other kind of AI that's also coming and being talked about a lot, and most likely coming for a lot of jobs as well. How can the youth upskill themselves or prepare themselves as they enter the workforce? They're not even clear about what sort of a workforce or what sort of a job market there will be.
Yeah, on a light-hearted note, they should use AI to upskill themselves to do AI. Go on to ChatGPT, it'll probably tell you how to upskill it. I'm not one of those people who is saying there aren't risks. Obviously, there are risks. We run a lot of schools, and I was chairing the board of board meeting of one of my schools, and they were talking about AI, and we have to set up guidelines now in schools using IT tools to make out when a student is using ChatGPT for answering essays or questions. By the way, I hope none of you use ChatGPT for your essays, I hope, because there are tools to find out if you did. So those kinds of safeguards have to be done, how to see what is original or what is not. But having said that, look, this was from the time fire was created. Somebody could have sat down after some caveman rubbed two stones together and created fire and said, oh my God, fire, that could destroy us, that could burn us. Let's kill this tool. And you wouldn't have had fire. I'm taking a primitive example, but every time there has been a technological advantage from the time Gutenberg invented the press, people have found ways of envisioning a very dark future. Yes, every technology has a dark side. But think about Star Wars. Do you want to be on the dark side or do you want to be on the other side? So I think AI, frankly, is probably the best tool for upskilling India. It will enable our young people to become the best in the world. So I think, how do you upskill? Frankly, the answer lies in AI and technology and the digital connectivity to do that.
And since we're addressing young leaders, what sort of political awareness and participation do you think India's youth should have for nation building?
Wondering what kind of trap she's laying for me here with that question. We have an ace politician here, the minister. We should ask him that question about what political awareness people should have. But look, I am never happy when a young person tells me they're not interested in politics. Politics, badi gandi cheez hai. I'm never going to go in. It's about corruption. It's about this. I'm not telling you to become a politician. But what she asked me was how politically aware they should be. Let's keep that away from elections, politicians, parties. Politically aware, of course you have to be. If you're going to be, if this room has got the future of India, you can't be politically unaware. You have to be aware, you have to make your votes, you have to make the right choice, because you earn the governments that you bring in. Don't blame anyone else, don't blame the government. You people decide who rules us, who creates our policies, who is going to lead us to become development. To me, political awareness, first and foremost, comes from casting your vote and making sure you have a hand in determining who is going to run this country. That much awareness I would ask everyone to have.
We'll take one more question from the audience. Khatri Harsha Yashwant Kumar from Gujarat. We can do better in manufacturing units as we have ample labor force as well as a huge market. We as young leaders, how can we contribute to the manufacturing sectors so that there is better growth?
You can contribute, first of all, by deciding to opt for a manufacturing job and career rather than for a food delivery one. I would request you. So please make manufacturing a choice. And I'll tell you one of the things I have learned, because I started my career on the shop floor of our alloy steel plant. And then I went, before going back to business school, I was working for a year in the automobile plant. I can just tell you there is nothing as exciting as manufacturing. People see it as some back office work, as if it's some kind of dungeon. If you haven't been to a factory and to a modern one, please go and visit. It is the most exciting place. Just a couple of days ago, I posted a video of our new plant for our electric vehicles. Just take a look at it. It's like an opera. It's like a ballet when you look at the robots, when you look at the people, when you look at the precision. There's drama in it. It's like you go into a factory, there's drama everywhere. You have to understand that manufacturing is probably one of the most exciting jobs you can have. So my appeal to all of you is, please, and borrowing from President Trump, make manufacturing great again.
All right. You said audacity, integrity, resilience.
So that was your last question,
I was just going to add something very humbly, listening to you. I think you did not mention passion, but when you speak, it comes through. I think you cannot achieve anything if you're not passionate about it, and I think you're a living example of that. So hats off to you. Final question.
You hold her to it, please. Make sure that it's the final question.
I'm a journalist. No, we're talking about Viksit Bharat, Young Leaders Dialogue. How can platforms like these help? You've already given ideas on what can be done and how can we make it a continuous process rather than one event and forgetting about it. But how important do you think it is to bring so many young leaders from across the country to one platform, to engage with them? What sort of a difference do you think it makes?
That's what I call a rhetorical question, because you know the answer to that. This is the difference. Why am I passionate? And I just actually posted why I was excited on social media about coming here, because we are talking about electric cars, renewable energy. This is energy. This is renewable energy. And thank you. So my batteries get recharged with younger people. That's how I keep my mind and my spirit young, is by interacting with younger people. In fact, I was asking my handler, Suyash, just now, that would it be possible to walk around and take the questions and walk up to people. That's what I like to do, but it's a formal inauguration, I couldn't do that. But to be honest, platforms like this allow people to network. It allows them to get the resources they need, the support they need, and frankly, above all, to answer your question, if you heard all their noise that they made, platforms like this make them passionate.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your insights. I'm sure everyone here is inspired, all these leaders, inspired to work together to create a Viksit Bharat that is obviously developed and that is also proud of its heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I request you to please be on the stage? Because now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to invite our very own My Bharat volunteers to felicitate our esteemed guest with paintings made by them in this momentous event in our very own Bharat Mandapam. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jagannath. Please welcome Jagannath to felicitate Anand Mahindra, sir. These paintings are made by them here in this event in Bharat Mandapam. And now Ajay Kumar to felicitate Palki Upadhyay, ma'am. You can see the talent of Bharat coming here on the stage. Now at this point, may I kindly request our guests to please be on their seats. Thank you so much. And now, as we come to the conclusion of this wonderful event, it is only fitting that we express our gratitude to everyone who made this day so special. For this, I would now like to invite Srimati Raksha Khadse ji, Minister of State of Youth Affairs and Sports, whose unwavering support and guidance have been instrumental in making this event a success, to deliver the vote of thanks. Ma'am, the stage is yours. Please welcome her with a thunderous round of applause, everybody.
आदरणीय मंचासीन अतिथिगण, उपस्थित राष्ट्रीय युवा आइकॉन्स एवं सभी उपस्थित युवा साथियों, आज इस महत्वपूर्ण और प्रेरणादायी विकसित भारत यंग लीडर्स संवाद कार्यक्रम के सफल आयोजन पे मुझे धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव प्रस्तुत करने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ है। सबसे पहले हम हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करते हैं हमारे माननीय डॉक्टर मनसुख मांडविया जी का, केंद्रीय युवा कार्यक्रम और खेल मंत्री जी का, जिन्होंने हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी का सपना विकसित भारत साकार करने के लिए इस बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म से शुरुआत की, विकसित भारत यंग लीडर डायलॉग्स के माध्यम से, और आज ये प्रोग्राम इस भव्य भारत मंडपम में साकार होने जा रहा है। और मैं उसके साथ ये भी कहना चाहूँगी कि आज आदरणीय मनसुख जी ने उनके विचार के माध्यम से युवाओं को सशक्तिकरण करने के लिए और युवाओं की शक्ति इस विकसित भारत के साथ जुड़ने के लिए आज उन्होंने उनके विचार हमारे सबके सामने उन्होंने रखे। उसके साथ ही आज हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हुए डॉक्टर आनंद महेंद्र जी का भी मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी कि उन्होंने उनके व्यस्त समय में हमारे लिए वक्त निकाल के काफ़ी अच्छे विचार उन्होंने हमारे सामने रखे। और आज विशेष आभार मैं व्यक्त करना चाहूँगी श्रीमती पालकी शर्मा उपाध्याय जी का, जो एक निडर पत्रकार और महिला सशक्तिकरण की एक मिसाल है, जिन्होंने हमेशा हमारे देश के सभी महिलाओं के लिए एक विचार उन्होंने आगे लाए हैं और एक हमें प्रेरणा हम सभी को दी है। उसी के साथ आज हमारे बीच में यहाँ पे उपस्थित माननीय सोमनाथ जी, जो इसरो के चेयरमैन हैं, वो भी आज हमारे साथ ये प्रोग्राम में जुड़े हैं। उसी के साथ हमारे साथ आज यहाँ पे रोनी जी भी है, और उसी के साथ हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में अमिताभ क्रांति जी भी है, उनका भी मैं तहे दिल से आभार यहाँ पे व्यक्त करना चाहूँगी। और आज यहाँ पे हमारे जितने भी नेशनल आइकॉन हैं, सभी उन साथियों का भी मैं आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ कि आज आप सब लोग इस बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से हमारे देश के सभी युवा साथियों के साथ आप जुड़ रहे हैं। हमारे मंत्रालय का भी मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगी कि आज इतने बड़े भव्य कार्यक्रम का सभी लोगों ने काफ़ी मेहनत लेके आज हमारे सामने आज इस भव्य कार्यक्रम का आयोजन उन्होंने किया है। सभी NYKS के ऑफिसर, NSS के ऑफिसर, हमारे सभी माय भारत वॉलंटियर्स, सभी बच्चों का मैं आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ। और उसके साथ ही ITPO का भी मैं आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ कि उन्होंने ये सभी व्यवस्था हमें यहाँ पे प्रदान की, कि जिसके माध्यम से आज इतना बड़ा कार्यक्रम यहाँ पे होने जा रहा है। और मैं आप सभी से आशा व्यक्त करती हूँ कि जो कार्यक्रम आज यहाँ इस भारत मंडपम में होने जा रहा है, और जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी का सपना है कि 2047 में हमें ये देश एक विकसित भारत के रूप में हमें देखना है। और आज यहाँ पे उपस्थित सभी बच्चों से मैं आग्रह करना चाहूँगी कि इस मिशन में आज हमें सब लोगों को इस मिशन में हमें जुड़ना है और एक विकसित भारत होते वक्त हमें देखना है। यही आपको सबको कहना चाहूँगी। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. And now, a surprise for you all. We are going to take a photograph. the photograph. So I request you all calmly, quietly arise on your seats, please. All the young leaders, very calmly, quietly. We have to show our discipline of My Bharat volunteers. And I request our photographers to please come on the stage and take a group photo of everybody. बोलना फिर भी.
कोई अपने सीट से हिले ना, सभी लोग अपने स्थान पे खड़े रहें। भविष्य के 3000 यंग लीडर्स के साथ वर्तमान भारत की पिक जो विकसित भारत के संकल्प को दर्शाती है।
What a wonderful sight. Thank you so much, our esteemed guests. I request everyone be at your places until our guests have exited the hall. Everyone be at your places.
कृपया अपने अपने स्थान पे बैठे रहें जब तक हमारे माननीय अतिथि और मंत्री महोदय इस ऑडिटोरियम से बाहर जा रहे हैं। डेकोरम को मेंटेन रखें, अपने अपने स्थान पे बैठे रहें। अनाउंस कर, आगे की चीजें अनाउंस